Hello and welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas. I'm your host, Roger Gauthier, founder of TriVision Global and creator of the Entrepreneur's Pit Stop. I'm working in conjunction with Dr. Joseph Peck of Empower 2000. Now today we're at day 10, and I have the absolute joy of sharing with you a wonderful couple who are an absolute blast to be with, Greg and Fiona Scott. They're known as the laptop lifestyle experts, as well as authors of the double award-winning best-selling book, Living a Laptop Lifestyle. Now, having harnessed the power of the internet back in 2009 to replace their comfortable corporate salaries, they chose to help and inspire people just like themselves to create their own lifestyle of design by leveraging the power of the internet. Now, since the end of 2012, they've mentored and motivated over 1,000 people of all ages from all corners of the globe to build and scale up their own online business to live life on their own terms. Now, their personal message is to re-educate 1,000 laptop lifestylers, that's their words, to basically earn a substantial income online, to answer to nobody else, to holiday when you want to work how long you want, and to be present with your family and loved ones. So today's message is 10 gems of marketing. So you've got some great gems for us today, and why don't I let you guys loose? Welcome to the show, and again, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thanks for inviting us, Roger.
Yeah, it's our privilege to be able to share our knowledge with your audience, with your listeners, and yeah, we're very, very super stoked to be able to share with you and help your audience today. You mentioned that we were British. People could probably hear a slight twang in our accent. We actually come from New Zealand, way down the bottom of the world, and it's maybe partly because we are Kiwis that we're, our driving passion is to see as much of the world as we can. So that's where the whole ethos of having your lifestyle first and building your business around your lifestyle is our passion. And most people who get caught up in the corporate 9 to 5, they spend most of their time earning their income and have very little time to actually live their life to the full. So we've just turned that on its head, and it's the 10 gems of marketing secrets that we want to share with people today, so that they are also to be able to put lifestyle first and business or income second, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and I know this is going to be a powerful presentation. Forgive me, I know I heard the first word holiday when I was in Britain, so I did attach England to it. But no, this is going to be very powerful because the landscape is changing. I think as one of our experts was talking about, that in the next 5 to 10 years, technology is going to literally replace 80% of the workforce. And so they're going to have to develop entrepreneurial skills, and they're going to have to come online to grow and build their business. So what you guys have today is going to be powerful. So don't let me delay it. Let's go get into these beautiful 10 gems of marketing.
Okay, just one thing before we do. Just why now is pivotal. Is, we're coming up to the start of 2016, and it's always an opportune time to just draw a line in the sand and to just forget about any misfirings or failings or misgivings that you've had in the past, and just set yourself a brand new start. And what better chance to do that than day one of a brand new year.
But don't set them as New Year's resolutions, because everybody leaves their New Year's resolutions by about the end of January. So set them before New Year's so that they're not New Year's resolutions, and you might be better off.
Yeah. So our 10 gems of marketing secrets, we'll go through them in order of importance, because the priority that we're going to mention them will become obvious. There's basic foundations that, of course, you want to have first, and build on that. So our first gem of marketing secret, whether you're promoting your own business, whether you're promoting yourself, maybe a book or an ebook you've written, or whether you're even promoting whatever it is that you're promoting online. The very, very first key is that you just need to be authentic. You need to be yourself and not pretend to be somebody else, obviously, that you're not.
And the reason why that is because even though you're on the internet, you're still dealing with real people. A lot of people, we made the mistake when we started out thinking that we could hide behind our computer and not have to speak to anybody, but actually it's a people business, and people can tell pretty quickly if you're not being authentic, if you're trying to be someone that you're not. A lot of people think that when they're starting online, they haven't done anything, they haven't made any money, they haven't become rich and famous or whatever, but it's much more attractive to people to say that you're just starting out and you've taken the steps to start online or whatever you're doing, start a business, and being authentic and letting people know exactly where you are is much more genuine. You're going to build a lot more trust that way, and people are going to grow to like you and trust you. So really, really, really important to be authentic.
And not be somebody that you're not. So just to be honest, genuine, upfront. And that kind of rolls nicely into our second gem of marketing secrets, to be generous, to provide value, to be kind and helpful to people. And by providing value, I mean people will be in a particular niche, probably even a micro niche of a niche, and they need to provide value or information, inspiration, education that helps solve the problem that the people in their niche are experiencing.
And what do we mean by value? So this reminds us of, we were in Vermont a few years back, and we went into the Vermont Country Store, and this is one of these stores that sells all sorts of food. They've got all old toys and all sorts of things. They had old cars parked outside and all that sort of thing. But when we walked in there, all the food on display, they had samples that you could try. So we'd go and try a sample like cheese or meat or whatever, and they just had unlimited samples. You could literally just about go and have your lunch there. Do you think that we brought something there? Absolutely.
You bet your boots
because we got so much value, from trying different things, and they weren't expecting anything in return. And so we came out with an armload full of stuff
chutneys
that we brought there,
and salamis,
all that sort of thing. So providing value is essential, because if you just go to somebody and say, I've got something for you to buy, there's no way that anybody's going to buy that. They need to sample the goods. They need to get free trials. They need to do all that sort of thing before they can even think about working with you. So really, really important to provide value.
There's an industry-wide statistic that you need to have at least 7 touches with a person, with a prospective customer. And what I mean by touch is maybe it could be 7 emails, or it could be providing 7 ebooks, or 7 value-driven blog posts, for example. So the providing value helps you get content together that helps solve a problem, so that you can have those 7 touches with people to help build that trust bridge between you and your prospective customers. So yeah, our second marketing gem is to provide value, and that could be by way of video content. It could be by way of audio content, like these 12 Days of Christmas series. It could be blog posts, ebook, or it could be a combination of the above, like a mix of all of those media.
And it brings us nicely into the third point as well, which is build an email list. So what we see a lot of people do when they're online is they're generating leads for their business, but they're sending them straight to a sales page. So they try and sell something straight out the gate. That just doesn't work, because because of point number 2, providing value. People aren't going to just buy off you. This is the internet. People think everything's a scam until proven otherwise. So you need to You need to provide value. You need to build a relationship with people before they actually buy anything from you. And the only way that you can build a relationship with people is by building an email list. So you need to get people onto your email list, so your marketing list. It's the same as physical leads. You're building a database of people that you can keep in contact with, but you need to get them on your email list first before you can start providing value to them. So unless you do that, you're not going to sell anything, or you're going to sell a lot less, just because the people that do buy from you are only going to be the instant decision makers. Most other people need some sort of qualification where they'll actually buy things from you once they know who you are.
And it doesn't matter what your business is online. Maybe you're providing a consultancy service. Maybe you're selling a physical product. There's a lady that we coach. She makes very high quality rough silk cushion covers. It doesn't matter if you've got a digital online product that you're promoting. It doesn't matter what your service or product is that you have to promote online, you still need to provide an email list so that you can have those 7 touch points with your customers, so that you can provide them value and prove to them that you're authentic. So that's hugely important, that you need to build a database or an email list of your prospective customers. People who you already know have a problem that you're able to solve. So for example, if you're in the weight loss niche, you're not going to build an email list of people wanting to
teach their dog how to do tricks.
Yeah. So it needs to be targeted people that is relevant to the niche that your business is in. So that's number 3, build an email list. And marketing gem number 4 is to use paid advertising wisely. To use paid advertising to build that email list. So what we mean by that is that there's quite a few, they're called pay-per-click platforms, which pretty much means exactly as it sounds. You pay the third-party advertising platform for their platform users to click on your ad.
So a good example of that is Google. So Google, when you go on Google and you do a search, the first results are always ads. There's ads down the right-hand side, and when someone clicks on one of those ads, if that was your ad, then you would get charged by Google. So the reason why we say to use paid advertising is because there's lots of free methods of marketing as well, but they take a lot of time. There's kind of a trade-off with paid advertising and free advertising. So free advertising always takes a lot of work and effort. For example, we know a person who uses entirely free traffic and they write 3 blog posts a day, every day. That's 365 days a year. And that kind of strategy takes a long time to get any traction with, whereas with paid advertising, you actually can generate traffic immediately, and by traffic we mean generate leads. So it goes back to
which are
building an email list.
Prospective customers in your that are targeted prospective customers in your niche.
So you're paying to advertise. You're paying someone to generate your leads, and obviously with the condition that you're going to get more back than you spend on advertising, so you're going to make a return on your investment as well. So using paid advertising is going to be the quickest way for anybody to start their business. If you think about a traditional business, all traditional businesses advertise. Unless you're a shop in the middle of a very busy street with lots of foot traffic, it's very hard to get customers without advertising. So even McDonald's advertises, and everyone's had McDonald's before, much as we don't think it's a very good food group, but but even McDonald's advertise. So if McDonald's have to advertise, then a small business like one or 2 people, then there's no reason why you wouldn't need to advertise as well.
And a further word of caution with doing paid advertising is that we strongly suggest that you just stick to one pay-per-click platform only, one traffic source, because you kind of need to build a relationship with that pay-per-click platform. You need to get a feel for it, understand the moving parts within advertising on that platform, and understand trends in what types of people will click on your ads, and and what periods of time that they would click. So you can only build up that your own database, or your own understanding, in-depth understanding of that platform, if you stick to it and just focus on that one platform. We just see too many people, they'll go and try Facebook and spend
$20.
Yeah, spend $20 and say, oh, well, that doesn't work, and then they'll move on to something else and spend $20 there and say, well, that doesn't work. You need to spend at least 3 months, and it might just be maybe $5 a day, $10 a day on that platform, but you need to spend, a suitable amount of time before you personally can get to grips with how that platform works for your business.
And definitely by the time you've understood a platform, then yes, have another traffic source, but certainly when you're starting out, don't try lots of different things. You need to stick with one thing. We prefer the major platforms like Facebook, Bing, YouTube, Google, because they are more stable, and the quality of those people is really good as well. There's lots of other paid advertising platforms that we could go out and generate 10,000 leads in 5 minutes, but they're not going to be any good. And that actually brings us on to point number 5, which is target quality prospective customers. So you don't want to have, there's a difference between quality and quantity as far as generating leads goes. So as I said, we could go out tomorrow and get 10,000 leads on our list, but they could be extremely poor quality because they've come from a disreputable, if there's such a word, traffic source.
Yeah.
So quality over quantity all the time. So the reason and the consequence of that is that you're going to maybe pay a little bit more for your leads. But again, we said you wouldn't do paid advertising unless you're getting a return on your investment. So you would pay as much as the value of a lead is for you to actually make a return on that investment.
And so targeting quality prospective customers really involves you getting to know your audience. You need to know who the people are that you are able to help with your product or service. So you need to, have a big brainstorming session. You need to know where they hang out. You need to know what they like and what's happening in their lives. You need to have a fair idea where they live. Like, for example, if you just want to, if you are a local business advertising online, obviously you're only going to target people in your local community. But for example, for our target market is the Western English-speaking countries in the world. So it's a considerably larger target market, but we then niche down within that market, to the people that we know that we can help.
A good example of working out who your customers are, and I can't remember which company it is, but they actually have, it's one of the big corporations, they actually have a room created that's created according to their prospective customer. So they've got one person in mind. They've actually created a room, what their bedroom would be like. They've got pictures on the wall. They've got the books that they read. They've got all sorts of stuff, and they know exactly who that customer is, and all of their advertising is targeted at that one person, and that's their target market. That's how well you need to know it. So you need to know what movies they like, what books they read, where they hang out online and offline, who their favorite actors are, all that sort of thing, because then you can build up a really good picture of your customer, and you know that any sort of marketing that you're aiming at that customer is going to resonate with them. So you're always talking their language. Extremely important, because if you're targeting the wrong people, then you're going to end up with
you're flushing your advertising money
exactly,
down the toilet.
Yeah. So you really want quality customers, and that's what we mean by quality.
So gem number 6 in our 10 gems of online marketing is to leverage other people's products.
And I think this is a big thing why a lot of people don't start their own businesses, that they think they need to have their own idea, and they need to have a unique idea that no one's ever thought of. But let's take Amazon as an example. Amazon is the biggest, what we call, affiliate marketing company in the world. So anybody can go and sell Amazon products and go and earn a commission from them. You just need to sign up to their website and promote their products as an affiliate, obviously, as we said, using paid advertising, and when you make a sale, you get a commission. We've created our own products. The big problem with creating your own products is, first of all, you've got to maintain that product. Secondly, you've got to deal with customer support, and those two things are quite a big effort when you could be marketing someone else's product that they created. They do all the customer service, they do all the you still have to promote it, but they do all the
they provide the payment functionality.
They do the payment functionality, all that sort of thing, and there's literally hundreds and thousands of products that you can promote on the web. As we said, Amazon's the biggest one. We're not necessarily recommending Amazon, but that's just a really good example of how you can sell other people's products just by going onto Amazon, sign up to their affiliate marketing platform, and then you can sell anything on Amazon that you want.
And also, if you have your own business and have your own product, we strongly suggest that you seek complementary products that that support what your offer is, what your service is, because not everybody on the email list that you build, not everybody will be in the right space at the right time to actually want to buy your product off of you. However, if you have someone else's product to offer them, which is complementary to yours, which you will receive a commission on when you promote it, then it's all about being able to create small little streams of income in addition to your main stream of income. And it's easy to do that by way of promoting other people's products. Whether you've got a main business or product or service yourself, you'll look for something complementary to it, or otherwise just promote other people's products, full stop. We do both, and find it much, as Greg said, there's a lot of work involved in coming up with your own digital products yourself. So we prefer promoting other people's products primarily, and that's how we make the main part of our income online.
And that's how we can put lifestyle before business, because we build our business around our lifestyle, not the other way around, and primarily by using other people's products, which also one of the key things when you're promoting other people's products is, if you're selling, let's say, a $47 ebook, and I'm moving into point number 7 now as well, or gem number 7, but if you're selling a $47 ebook and you're paying to advertise, you're going to have to be a very, very good marketer to make money from that, because advertising a $47 product, if that's the only thing that you're advertising and that's the only product, it's going to cost you a lot of money in advertising. You're going to make a very small profit, if any profit at all. So what we suggest is promoting high-ticket products. So if we think of Apple, for example, so Apple, we've brought the first product we brought off Apple was like an iPod, one of the ones that had that round dial on it that dies after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so that maybe cost like a couple of $100, and then we got an iPhone, got an iPad, we've got
a
MacBook Pro, and we're both, because over time we've dealt with that company and we've brought higher and higher priced products, which is what I mean by
an integrated suite of products.
An integrated suite of products. They don't just sell you one thing; they have other products. So they might have advertised to us once and we've experienced their products, we've used their products, and then we're much more likely to buy other products from them. And really, if you like Apple products, the price doesn't really matter. You're going to buy Apple products without any problem because you trust the company. So having high-ticket products, which is gem number 7, is essential if you're using paid advertising, because you could sell, I said earlier, if you're advertising a $47 ebook, the cost involved in that is going to be much higher than the return you're going to get. But if you're selling, let's say, a $1,000 product, then you can easily spend $999 on advertising to make one sale, and you still make a profit, although it probably wouldn't be worth your time. But you can easily make a sale spending $500 on advertising, then you've basically doubled your money. So having a high ticket product is essential, or a suite of products, so that your advertising pays for itself.
And I know we wrote about this in our book, Living a Laptop Lifestyle, because people then turn around and say, but Greg and Fiona, where do I find, top tier, high ticket products? Well, obviously it does depend on the niche or market you're in, but we would suggest that you could start just getting ideas from niche magazines, but I mean top tier niche magazines or websites. Expensive sort of quality magazines, maybe if you're in the travel niche, magazines like Condé Nast, and you'll find when you start digging, you'll find that for example, one thing that pops into my mind is they could offer very boutique golf tours where people happily pay $5,000, $10,000 to go on a golf tour. If you can introduce a customer that signs up for a particular golf tour, you can make a high-ticket commission on referring that prospective customer. So you just need to look around on high-class magazines, very reputable websites, and then just check at the bottom to see if they have an affiliate system. You just generally on a website scroll to the very, very bottom of the page, and generally one of the links at the bottom will be to sign up as an affiliate if they have that functionality. So you just need to open your eyes and have a look around. There is top tier or high ticket products that you can promote as an affiliate all over the internet. So that was gem number 7, to promote high-ticket products for sale, or even an integrated suite of products as well, where the prices scale up, just like the Apple product line. Gem number 8, marketing gem number 8, is to also have residual income products available for people to sign up to. And this is when I say residual income, it's like a monthly subscription that people pay for, just like they pay to go for the Netflix, or they pay to go to the gym, or just like some people regularly pay for their electricity and utilities on a monthly basis. So you could provide a newsletter, a monthly newsletter, where people are paying. It might only be $5, $7 a month, but it's quite easy to see when you get 100 people paying you $5 a month for a newsletter. It's just another one of those little streams of income that all little streams sort of make their way into a big river, into a flood, and that's before you know it, you are creating a hugely sustainable income for yourself online. So as well as promoting high tickets, you also want to think about not right from the start. You need to get your foundation sorted properly, but have a view to having a residual income product, or maybe 2 residual income products, a couple of months down the track as well, because they just bring you in what I call bread and butter income each month, month in, month out.
And all of those things build up into, as Fiona said, into tiny little streams, build up into a flood. So having those residual income products is just, it's bread and butter. It's just keeps some income coming in. And one thing, gem number 9, this is something that we see all the time, we're guilty of it, is people like to think that things are much more complicated than what they are. So you need to keep things simple, and you need to be consistent. So there really isn't that much work involved when you're marketing online. You need to build your list, you need to blog, and you need to broadcast. And the people that we coach, we tell people that, but they're always going to go out and try and make their website look pretty. They're going to go off and try lots of other different things, and they don't think that that's they don't think that it can be that simple. They have to go and complicate things. We're a great example of overcomplication. When we started out, I'm actually used to be a web developer and a programmer, so I thought that I'd have to go out and create a website from scratch. Never heard of WordPress, never even thought about making it simpler, so I went out and built a website from scratch, which took months and never got finished. And I think somewhere along the way I discovered WordPress and realized that it's actually all done for you anyway. So if you're working online and you find yourself doing something that seems really complicated and it's taking you a long time to do it, there's probably going to be a simpler way for you to do it, and you've just been I won't say guilty, but you've probably just wasted a lot of time trying to do something that could have been done much, much easier. For example, when I'm talking about building a website, you don't need to build it, you can get someone else to do it. Literally, you can outsource pretty well any job online that you want to. I say online all the time, but it's the same for the offline world.
We have a system for building websites where people can get websites set up and running like in a matter of a few clicks.
Yeah.
So just an example, if something is taking you a long time, then as sure as X or eggs, there's an easier way of doing it. It's just a matter of finding out that easier way. But
there's even a story of a guy that really didn't like his job, and so he actually went and outsourced his job. Worked really well for a couple of months till his boss found out, and then he didn't have a job. But that's the level of things that you can outsource, because there is literally hundreds of people online that will do pretty well any job you can think of for a really reasonable amount.
But when it comes to marketing, gem number 9 is to just keep it simple, focus on the money producing tasks, and to be consistent. If there is any, you sometimes see all of these outrageous stories online about the secret and the biggest secret and the biggest myth, but if there is any secret about having success online, it's simply about being consistent. So consistently advertising to build your list, that means having an ad running every day, day in, day out, Christmas Day, every day. And just doing things consistently, providing content consistently, staying in touch with people consistently, so that they see you always showing up, and they know that you're dependable and reliable. So consistency is one of the biggest secrets. Some people make it hard to be consistent. They just sort of think, oh, I'll take a day off their advertising, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. You just need to be having your online business consistently chugging along in the background.
What consistency does is it builds up momentum. So let's just think you're trying to drive a car. If you drive it with your foot on the accelerator, then you're going to get somewhere. But if you keep putting your foot on the brake and then on the accelerator and then on the brake and then on the accelerator, that's going to get you nowhere. And so it's more that building up momentum is going to get you much quicker results.
Yeah, great analogy.
And so point gem number 10. Now, when people are marketing anything online, there's a huge learning curve, and it's virtually, I've seen it referred to as getting information from the internet is like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. You're just going to get swamped trying to find the information out yourself. So gem number 10 is to get a mentor, someone that's been there and done it before, and that can show you the fastest way for you to have results. We are guilty of that. We try to do everything ourselves. We thought, I'm an ex-programmer, Fiona was an accountant, and so we were smart enough to do it ourselves. We didn't actually have any results until we actually had someone that knew more than what
told us what to focus on.
Actually knew a lot more than what we knew. Went for our first, I don't know, maybe first 6 months, we weren't even building a list online. We didn't even realise we had to. I think we were probably sending people straight to a sales page.
Yeah.
So things like that. What a mentor will do for you is help you avoid all the pitfalls that they've been through themselves. So it's really essential. And when you think about it, marketing online, building a business online is a skill. It's a completely new thing. When you start a new job, you wouldn't just go. You're not just given a computer and told to sit at your desk and get everything done. Someone's going to show you how to do stuff, and it's no different online. because of the vast amount of information out there. So really, really essential to get a mentor, someone that has already been there and done that, because that's going to really shortcut your success.
Path to success.
Path to success, yeah. Yes. Path to success.
Mm.
So does all that make sense?
Oh, that's stunning. That's great stuff, Greg and Fiona. You know, I look back in my own path and can see how I've had to learn each one of these along the journey and what happens when you don't. And so this is really, you know, like I was sitting here taking notes, and would have been really nice to have someone like yourselves early on in my own journey, because you know, you get along and people come along and they have tremendous hype and they tell you this is the way to do it, and you end up spending a lot of money, wasting a lot of time. And so yeah, this is good stuff. You know, I know that you guys are familiar with all the hype in the industry and the promises from quick success. From your perspective and experience, what do you think? Now, I know it's going to vary based on person's skill sets and a lot of other factors, but on average, from what you've seen, what do you think the appropriate time for someone is to gain traction online if they do it right and begin earning income? That way they can, you know, kind of have in their mind, they can maintain their endurance and not give up.
Yeah, as you said, Roger, it is a difficult question because people have different lives. So some people are doing it part-time. Some people will maybe they've been laid off their job and they can do it full-time or whatever. But 3 to 6 months is probably, for someone that's very focused, that's doing things consistently, keeping everything simple. 3 to 6 months could be a pretty reasonable time frame for someone to be successful. I think the key problem is that most people, what we were talking about before, they try one thing and it doesn't work, so they go and try another thing. We were particularly guilty of doing that ourselves. Mm-hmm. They try too many different things, or they try a whole lot of things all at once, and they spread themselves too thin, and then nothing happens, and they think that things don't work. So as long as someone's consistent, as long as they're keeping it simple, using those 10 marketing gems that we've spoken about, I think 3 to 6 months is a pretty reasonable time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. And I'm sitting here, you know, and I'm thinking, wow, this is, you know, great content, and I'm just stunned with, you know, the wisdom that's there. Obviously, you gain wisdom when you go through the trials and the tribulations, the mistakes, and all of that. So, you know, listening to this, I can see how this is just going to open up a Pandora's box of questions for people as they move forward. So obviously we've got a variety of listeners on today's show, from people who already have their own business and would like to learn how to market better online, to people that maybe haven't stepped out yet in business or online. What would you say to those people that have not stepped out yet? What would you say to encourage them to maybe make the decision in 2016 to say, you know what, I need to step out?
I would say that whatever they're doing now, things aren't going to change unless they change something.
Unless they make change happen.
Unless they make change happen, because that's what a lot of people they can. Us, for example, we sat in jobs that we didn't particularly like for 25 years. And wishing that things could be better. But until you actually go and make a change, until you actually go and search for different things, nothing's going to change. It's always going to be the same. If you're just thinking about it, nothing will happen. You actually have to go out and do something. And it's really just making that one little step. That's what sort of sets you on a path. It's always one little decision that you make, or one thing that you investigate that's going to have a big change in your life. It was exactly the same for us when we were laid off our jobs. We didn't know what we were going to do. We could have just gone and got another job. In fact, Fiona even got offered the job.
Finally got my dream job as the director of finance.
And we actually turned it down, because we just knew that if we kept things the same, we were going to end up being in the same position that we were, you know, like 6-7 years ago. So it's really just taking one tiny step. It's one tiny step that makes all the difference.
And I mean, you mentioned before that the future is digital, and there's absolutely no doubt about it. We saw an article in Time magazine earlier in the year, And just with the fast progression of, you know, the speed of the microchip and how small it's getting now, you know, and what scientists are able to come up with, the processing power of microchips is getting, you know, faster and faster, and the software is getting smaller and smaller. And Time Magazine had this progression. By the year 2045, we are going to have, you know, there's going to be approximately 60% of jobs in the US will be replaced by robots.
Yeah.
60%. And that technology is happening, you know, and so you just can't sit back and put your head in the sand and think, well, I'm just going to let that technology happen to me. You need to sort of start putting your feelers out now and start getting familiar with the digital world, and so that you can ride the wave of this technology that's happening, so that you're not going to be one of those people whose robots are going to replace your job. And we're talking about professionals as well. Doctors, accountants, you know, there's so much, particularly in the, you know, as GPs, there's a ton of, you know, databases that can be culminated so that people can go to online to search for solutions to their symptoms, who are going to eventually put doctors out of jobs. Accountants, same thing. You know, the processes and accounting systems out there are just getting better and better, that data can be sucked in from bank statements, you know, straight into an accounting package, and won't need the accountants that I was. People think that their jobs are safe, but when you go and have a look in this Time magazine, I think it might have been the June or July edition, for the progression of, you know, technology and where we're going to be in 2045. And
machines are going to be more intelligent than humans. That was I think they took that from an Oxford University study, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And by 2045, machines will be more intelligent, or computers will be more intelligent than humans, and that's from Oxford University. It's not just some number that's been pulled out from somewhere. That was an actual study that they'd done.
So our view is the you know, the first step to change is just decide to change, and it all boils down to your way of thinking, to belief, to being open-minded, and just accepting and learning a new skill one day at a time. You know, like particularly lawyers, accountants, doctors, dentists, you know, they've studied for years and years and years to get the build the career that they have, to get the skills they have. So it's just the same with learning how to market any product or service online.
So what I wanted to chime in with was, you know, it's interesting. I liken it to the Indians of North America. There's a story of one of the Indians, and I don't remember his name. My wife is the history expert, but he went to Washington, D.C., and when he saw the magnitude of change that was coming, the technological advancement of this society, and just how, I mean, they had ships and guns, and I mean, just, it was huge. He went back to his tribe, and he basically said, guys, we can't stop this. There's no way. And I kind of liken the digital era that we're at, that this is so big. You know, I think personally it's going to happen faster than 2045, but this is so huge that you cannot afford to stick your head in the sand. Otherwise, you're going to be left, like the North Americans, you're going to be left on a digital preserve. You know, a digital, you know, Indian, they have the reservations that they have. People are going to be left on digital reservations and left out.
Yeah, love the analogy as well, because that is what happens, and it's kind of like you have to embrace it, or you're gonna miss out, because as you say, it's coming. There's nothing we can do to stop it. There's nothing anyone can do to stop it. So why not just embrace it? And what I was saying earlier on, take that first step. Just go and investigate things, see what's out there, what's available. We kind of look at this kind of thing for someone that's in a job already. So someone that's working full time, we look at this as insurance, and so that when their job does disappear, and we know plenty of people that are running an online business part time while they're working, if their job does get made redundant or laid off or whatever, then they've got another backup plan where they can, start another income.
A plan B.
Yeah, plan B. And if you don't do anything about it and just sit in your job and think that you're secure, we know so many people that have been laid off their jobs that they thought were secure, and there's nothing that I can think of that is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it really needs to be. You need to make some sort of change to keep up with the times, really.
Yeah, and then the longer they put it off, the more challenging it's going to become to get up to speed because there's just so many advancements in technology, But I was going over your list, and these 10 marketing gems really are just that. They're gems because each one of these areas, people, I know myself, have repeatedly made mistakes over and over and over again, and they are also the steps to really ensure that you do keep going and don't give up. It really helps focus your attention and your efforts so that you can get reasonable success in a reasonable time, as my mentor Jim used to say. He says you want to make reasonable progress in reasonable time. And that obviously changes for everybody, because if I were to tell you, hey, listen, if it took you 20 years to make $10 million, would that be reasonable? And most people would say, well, yeah, sure, right? So, being able to take small steps following your guidelines is really going to be key to make sure that people keep going on and on. So, like I mentioned, you guys opened a Pandora's box of information here. So what is the best way that people can get a hold of you to take those next steps?
So we have, seeing as it's the 12 days of Christmas, and Christmas is all about giving, we do have a free gift that we can share with people, and it's a free video training, and it's 7 days, because I mentioned the 7 touches before, and they can access, if they want, they can access that free video training on our website, which is gregandfionascott.co.uk/free-training. So our website is Greg and Fiona Scott, GREGANDFIONASCOT.co.uk/free-training.
Mm-hmm.
And as in what we teach, what we've just been over, yes, they will be able to enter their email address to receive that training, because it's all about list building, as we've explained. But the training sort of takes you through step by step how an online business works. Again, it talks about the digital age, like we've just been through, and why now is the right time to leverage it. But it takes it step by step, and it's delivered by 2 of our mentors. The guys that kept us on the straight and narrow, the guys that taught us mostly everything that we know. And yeah, we recommend that people go there and make time to start watching those 7 videos.
That can be the change that people do to change what they're currently doing.
Yeah, it would be the first step to start learning a new skill of how to market anything online, whether it's a physical product, a service, or someone else's product, or someone else's suite of products.
Okay, that'll be great. Now that you guys, this has been a tremendous opportunity to be with you and to hear your wisdom as we transition out of 2015 into 2016. Do you have a last-minute thought or tip or insight that you'd like to share to help people really make 2016, as I like to say right now, the year their dreams begin coming true?
One tip is to keep your New Year's resolutions. But yeah, really, what I was saying earlier is to take the step. Do something different, because otherwise 2016 is going to be the same as 2015. Unless you take one tiny step, there's nothing that's going to happen. And so I think that's the biggest thing holding most people back, is just making that one tiny little step.
And I would say it's about remaining open-minded. We coached a chap recently, 62-year-old chap from the south coast of England. He didn't even know how to use a laptop when we started with him. In fact, he didn't even own a laptop. And now he has built his own website that's compliant with Google's rules. He's advertising on YouTube. He's promoting a top ticket product, and he's making a sustainable income. And he's managed that within about 4 months. But he was very coachable. But the most impressive thing about him was he had a can-do attitude. You know, he never once thought that he was going to let technology get the better of him. He just kept an open mind, a willingness to learn, and really never got frustrated. He just accepted the learning process for what it was. Yes, he did get overwhelmed every now and again, and maybe frustrated with some lack of progress. But he kept an open mind throughout all of that, and it's fair to say he's pretty chuffed with himself now. So I would just, you know, people just need to go easy on themselves. You know, they need to give themselves permission to go at their own pace. It's not a race at the end of the day, you know, but they just need to remain open-minded and have a thirst for knowledge and a willingness to learn.
Those are key points that you've made there. Being able to have an open mind, a good attitude, and especially having resolve and resilience. It sounds like that gentleman had the fortitude to keep and stick with it. And obviously he's got great trainers and mentors that he's working with there. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I'd just like to wish you guys, you know, I appreciate your time and effort and energy today to share these with our audience. And I want to wish you a happy and joyful new year. I look forward to what 2016 will bring and what else we can do together to make it incredible for everybody listening on today's program.
Yeah, it's been our pleasure. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, same to you, Roger. And we really look forward to, I mean, what gives us the thrill the most is learning of other people's success stories. So we look forward in anticipation to hearing, you know, tons of entrepreneur pit stop success stories throughout the year.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much.